What's going on, everybody? And welcome back to the A Show with the Kings of Pro Wrestling Podcast. I am Justin here with Meals. What's going on, Meals?
I'm good. We're back. It's the end of summer, man. We fucking did it. You,
We
you spent
fucking
the
did
whole
it.
summer without a job. Oh my
Ah.
god. I know. We'll talk about it next week.
Yeah.
We'll because we have a guest on. We have a guest. We're doing back to back. This is the Royal Rumble redemption month. You know what I'm saying? So last week, we had none other than Donald Jones, big fan. Shout out to DJ. This week we have the other Royal Rumble pool winner. We have none other than the man, the myth, the legend himself. Are we just going by Bosa this time? Just Bosa? By Bosa? How do we do this? I feel like you're
You
a
can
man
say
of many names.
You can say Barbosa. You can say Barbosa.
Why are you trying to
Barbosa?
sound sexy on the line right now? What's it?
Cause I have my entrance ready. I'm waiting for it.
All right, go ahead. Do your thing.
Say his name and he appears. I believe in Barbosa. I believe. Let's go. Hello.
Back up from the mic because you're definitely peaking, but that was hilarious.
No.
You gotta push the mic. Just push the mic away a little bit.
Yeah, it's away from my face now.
That was an all-time peak.
That was amazing. No,
it.
it's okay. It's okay. Don't worry about it. That was awesome.
Something told me. But real, hello. It's great to be back. This is fun.
It's great to have you, man. It's great to have you. I'm glad you're back because this is a great week in professional wrestling. But I do have 3 things this week.
I'm excited. Okay, 3 things. Big three. Mm-hmm.
All right, so I have 3 things. First thing, it's really just like a status update on thing. What is TikTok currently trying to sell you?
Man, for me, they keep trying to tell me these shorts. Every ad starts with, bro, these shorts, I got these for less than a nickel, bro. This is so amazing. Like these, I was like, hey, don't care. Stop. And it's bad because it's like every other talk is you're selling me whack shorts. Please keep it away from me. People can promote their little TikTok shop stuff all they want. People say, "Oh, it's good quality." I'm gonna take your word. I'm gonna believe you.
Justin, where they got you at?
They are trying to sell me on strangely enough, there's like a USB to gaming thing where you put it on your TV and you could play every game from every era. And I'm like, this just smells like FCC violation. There's no way my TV's not going to explode putting this in an HDMI port at all.
Yeah, nah, it's
that
not.
Sounds scary.
So
Your TV's like,
this is not the PS5 that I.
yeah, we did not. This is not a compatible device of, et cetera, et cetera.
This is not holy. Take this out.
No. TikTok is currently trying to sell me 2 different types of shoes. One is just a $12 pair of shoes. And like, oh my god, they're so comfortable. Like I've been wearing them for 2 weeks, and da-da-da-da. I'm like, bro. I tried to beat the system with comfortable shoes. You have to pay for comfort. You just have to.
You do.
You can't shake the game on comfort. So $12 shoes that look like they literally were made 3D printed, they're just not going to work. And then also part 2 of that, they're selling the shoes with the 3-inch, the sneakers with the 3-inch shit on the bottom of it to make you taller. So they're selling me shoe. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, bro, I'm 5'10". I'm good.
You need to get to that 6'2". You need to get to that 6'2". That's what they're trying to get you. They're like, that 5 not gonna be enough, right, Playboy? You gotta get to that 6. Got to get to that 6.
I've been. This is a sidebar question. Have you ever been? Well, not you, Bosa, because you're tall. Justin, have you ever been called short?
No, but like I know I'm not tall, if that makes sense. Like I know I'm not tall, but I'm not short either. I am firmly 5'11".
Right. Okay. Because I remember at first I was like, I remember I had this girl in college that I was talking to, and she was like, "Oh wow, you're." I think because she was 5'7", and I was like, "You're tall, girl." She was like, "Wow, you're shorter than I thought you were," and I was like, "I'm 5'10". What?
Ooh,
I know, right? That's a hit.
that's that.
That's a killer.
That's what pissed me off. You're shorter than I thought. What did you think?
Yeah,
That's
that's what.
scary. I can't.
Maybe
Yeah,
I
I can't relate to
maybe
that
I
feeling.
evoke a taller person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because like
Um,
No.
you're not that much taller than me. Like when I saw you in person, I thought you was about to tower over me. It's just you
I
got more.
thought you. Well, you're taller than me.
I am.
Yes, you're by like 1 inch probably, but you're definitely taller than me.
That's
We're in the
crazy.
same height.
'Cause
We're in the same vibe area, and of course, Bosa is
I
like super tall. How does being tall? So let
okay,
me ask you
okay.
this. Let me ask you this, bro.
Mm,
How does
okay.
being tall work with your dancing? Does everyone have to kind of like clear out the area? Like if your like limbs are if your limbs are going in
Clear
various
out.
different places?
As you know, as a dancer, I try to work around people having to part ways when I step around. But as a dancer being this tall, I think the biggest thing is because I was just told recently in class, it was like you got to blend in. And I'm like, oof, how many the amount of times I've been told to bend my knees all my life. I'm like, bro, I swear, I get told every year, and I just gotta get lower. It's about you gotta blend. You can't look 6'2". You can't look 6'2" in there. Like they want, like a lot of places will want you because yeah, you good tall. As long as you have a mirror that like complements your height, you're fine.
Right.
But when you're working with a group, oh no, baby, you gotta look 5'10", you gotta look 5'7", and you gotta get low. And I'm like, okay, okay,
Damn.
but
Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Y-
But I do it. It's the push. It's the push. You got to. I'm like,
Well,
okay.
listen, the struggles of height, man. We were all questioning your height when you were
Mm.
posing next to Cody. It was like, oh, you're taller than Cody. What the fuck?
Right. I was like, hey,
You should
like,
you should have just chokeslammed a nigga. To be honest.
man, he looked me. He looked up at me. I said, ooh, adrenaline in my soul, man. Move. Give me that title.
Exactly. Exactly.
Like what? I
Should
was like, man.
should have chopped him
um,
for measure.
Like right
um,
there, like looking down at everyone in that line. I said, "Man, y'all don't deserve to be here. Give me that
hey
contract."
man, that's funny. That's funny as hell. Second thing, um, this Keith Lee DMV trip.
Man, man, let me tell you, cause I was like, yeah, he's gonna get a lot of y'all places shut down. I'm gonna get Litos out of here. That's what he's gonna do. We're gonna get that out of here. Get that cut off. I was like, yeah, get hip hop fish and chicken out of here. As long as he gets them out of here, I don't care. But the things he was posting, because he posted a big talk. I think I watched it last night. It was a big talk of the things people were sending him and the things he was eating in the plates. I was like, no, I would have rather you have gone to Lido's because the
Yeah, he
things
said
I
he
was
said
looking.
he went to 12 places, and it wouldn't be constructive if he posted all of them. So he's only posting some of them, but he still showed you the plates of the places that he went to that weren't sufficient. And I think he said something along those lines like, it sounds like the area is just like very, they just try to sell you alcohol with everything. Is that the
Yeah,
vibe that you're getting?
yeah. Like I hearing him say, I was like, yeah, you're probably spitting. I was just like, oh. Oh, and then a lot of the cross contamination he was hinting at. I was like, I believe it. I believe it. Did y'all cook in the same grease? I was like, oh yeah, they probably did.
The fruit
Yeah,
the fruity pebbles with no gloves on. Man, I actually had to now being clear, like I know that like Wale is not a big fan of like what's going on. He's been on Twitter talking about it, so I can talk about it. But like he just like why did he go to these places? And I'm like, people told him to go to these places. Like
that's the problem.
yeah,
Oh God, they're
It's the same.
sending
It,
him.
it, it's the same thing. When you went to New York, I was like, out of all the places in New York you went to Joe's Pizza on fucking 42nd Street. You know what I'm saying? Like, we trying to expand the palette, but he is getting these recommendations from people. He's probably getting a lot of like mail of like, come to our shop. We have the best food, and we only have 4 customers a day, and we're about to run out of fucking, we're about to have to shut down or something along those lines, and maybe you can go in and pay everybody to work the entire day or something along those lines. Um, but
And
no,
then you
it's
click on that.
definitely right. But I don't know. Some when Keith Lee come to town, shit ain't always right. It's always some sort of controversy at this point. I can't imagine. I don't even think I can't. It's either the service was bad, um, or and then a lot of people are like, "Oh, but you gotta like sit in to really enjoy it." Like he's getting takeout, so you can't really like judge it off of takeout and shit like that.
Yes, you can, because the thing is, and Bry can co-sign this, is that like the food should be good whether you're in there or not. Like the experience shouldn't just be because you sitting in there around a bunch of hookah. Like when I was going to DC back in the day, like it was like the experience was just being in
Hookah.
a rooftop or a hookah or bottle girls. Like it's not that much different in the car than in the place.
And then half the places y'all are sending him to, you can't sit. I'm not sitting in those places. No, I'll take it to go. Thank you. Like no,
People
like
people are forgetting he can't sit in these
he
places.
can't. Right. Like
He
he
can't.
physically.
He is a celebrity. He can't do that.
Bro, y'all were trying to get him taught like no, no. And like I said, you can't sit in half of these places. It's not because like of the place. They don't allow you. Like there's nowhere to sit in there. Like they're sending him to carry outs and they want him to sit in there. What?
Yeah.
With bars on the damn windows. And you want
What?
He
One
in the
window
hood.
between you and the cashier in the kitchen, and you want him to sit? What?
And he did go to the hood. I mean, he went to the hood. It's not like he went to the very affluent areas of the thing. He for sure went to the hood and
No, like
mumbo sauce and
no.
everything.
Bro, one Keith Lee's at carryout tweet and it's wraps. No,
exactly.
no.
I was like, why is he just going to get Chinese food? I'm like, why are y'all just telling him to go get that? I'm like, I'm gonna be real. Like, even though like we might love that shit, that's not something where it's just like, hey, go get this from a carryout. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not everyone's gonna go do that. Like, mambo sauce, love it to death. It's not something that everybody's gonna fuck with. You know what I'm saying? Like when he said it tastes like
Sweet and sour from
Sweet and
McDonald's.
sour.
with ketchup. I said,
That's
I said, oh man, come on. Like it's regional, you know?
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm sure
yeah.
I'm not eating it, but I said, hey, whatever he says. I
Curry
said it
out
is
is
weird.
what they say. Curry out. I was like, okay, I'm learning some dialect.
I love and hate my people. I love and hate my
Uh,
people.
that's so funny.
Mhm.
All right. Well, I got more things. Damn.
Ooh.
you know what? Let me skip this one. Um,
Oh, real.
my third one was how do you feel about Sabrina Carpenter?
You know, fun fact, I never used to like her. Like
Wow.
the songs. I was like, she was peak. You're not for me, but the streets like you, so I'm gonna let them have it. I'm gonna let them have it. But recently that is I love me some. I'm working late because I'm a singer. I'll be like, hey, I love some
Espresso's a bop.
espresso,
Yeah,
and
Espresso's pretty dope.
yeah. I listened to the new album. I was like, what's pulling me in this time? I love how much she's playing with her voice way more. Like I feel like with a lot of the old music I was hearing, I was like, this is I don't know how to describe it. Like this is that acoustic girl, oh, fake Taylor Swift music. I don't know, like some
It's
of
the
it,
it's
some of
the
it.
it's the white pop. Listen, Justin and I have lived through Sabrina Carpenter's of many eras. Like we
Yeah,
have
we
lived.
her era
That,
because she been doing it for mad long. We lived
Right.
her era. I remember hearing about her about 8 years ago, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
this
that's it. Yeah.
is bland. I
yeah, I
wonder
know.
wonder what changed. What do you think changed?
Um,
She got
TikTok
horny.
viral on that and that too. She's a lot more horny on this album than on prior works. But legitimately, I remember just hearing Espresso and I was like, okay, this little Say So by Doja Cat, okay. I get the jig. But then I think people decided, and I think people decided they like felt her in a way like ended up being like
Mhm.
this relatable person. You watch her interview, she's very like down to
Mhm.
earth as kind of telling all them jokes, self-deprecating, etc., etc. So people end up
Yeah.
vibing with more her than the actual music, and I think that's what happened. That's what's leading to this because like she couldn't sell she couldn't sell a damn units before at all. Like she wasn't
Mhm.
selling any albums, but now she's about to sell 300,000 albums. So I'm like, yo, the machine is
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, the
Um,
projections they were saying for this, I was like, this is kind of crazy. Like even with espresso and please cubed on there, I'm like, ooh,
yeah,
that's still a lot. Like that taste song is already going crazy. I was like, hey,
it's her sixth
she got
album.
it.
This makes no fucking sense.
That too. That's man, when people be like her sophomore album, I was like, sophomore? Super sophomore?
Yeah,
Maybe.
man, she in
Mm-mm.
I've been saying this, or I've been, at least been trying to say this. Like the door is wide open. The strongest genre that everyone said was strong is weak, and it's weakened. And I know this is a bigger conversation and something that people really don't want to hear, but like pop and country, they saw blood in the water, so to speak, and
Hey,
that's where it is now. Like I said this back in May, I said it might be over. It might be over for hip
ain't,
hop right now.
ain't no might. Ain't no might. They
It,
thought they thought a beef was gonna save them. No.
I think. Well, I feel
No.
like the beef accelerated it.
Yeah, the beef
Mm,
kind of like hurt it a little bit more.
The beef
mm,
accelerated it because what you did was you split the audiences again. You split the
Yeah,
audiences that are already fickle, and you said, "Well, you either listen to this person or listen to this person." So now all they do is bicker, and what
yeah.
happens
and
is all of the lower tier artists suffer for this because now you don't know who's cool with who, or now they're only worried about what's going to happen next from the top two guys. That's why I said like the
that's what
rap.
happened in a female rap for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's like you don't know who's cool with who, and it's like their fan bases they're not separate. They're all listening to the same thing, and that's what streaming shows you, that people are all listening to the same thing. So now when it's like you can only listen to this, there's people that are like, oh, okay, well, this is getting too real for me. I'm going to go listen to fucking Morgan Wallen. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm going to listen to something that doesn't have any of that baggage with
Let
it.
me listen to
Shabuzi,
Shabuzi.
Shabuzi.
Exactly. That's what I'm like, this is an award-winning genre, and and it's broken up by, again, this BS. I feel that we're at a convergence point where now we are forced to have to find new stars, but I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. And the strongest genre, the conversation last year was there was no hip hop albums in the top 10, and people were like, oh, that's just nobody had released yet. You know what I mean? And then Drake dropped something, and then everything goes back to normal, right?
Mm,
Now you can't do that now because
Yeah,
you now, like, this person has to take a break now. You know what I'm saying? He can't come out with anything right now, and it's all fucked up. It's gonna be fucked up for a while.
and the break is gonna show. Like the break is showing now.
Yes,
Like this attempted one. Like you see who's it's not even just what's it called? Then YG's album just dropped,
8,000
and
copies.
man, like
I
it's
didn't even
things
know.
like
I'm gonna keep
that.
it a buck. I didn't know YG album. I didn't
Me
know at all.
neither. But I saw the sales and said, "Oh, I see why I didn't know." Okay,
But I
like
also think I don't
the
prioritize like opening my music app as much as I did anymore. Maybe we have too much things, you know what I'm saying?
mm,
Because I used to every Friday, without a doubt, 12 a.m. or even like when I'm going up for work or something along those lines, open a music app. Let's play what the hell is new this week, and let me do that. And I'm not saying that my experience is predominantly for other experiences, but I don't know if people. I think with so many different things, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram, social media, YouTube, all these other things, like the attention span of people, you really have to like do well to be able to say like, oh, let me go and listen to that album. Like because
mm,
I've missed mad. I just missed mad albums. I haven't played the Cash Cobain album. I haven't played.
don't.
Uh,
It's
I
god awful. It's god that. Not to mention that, and to your point, Mills, the product has just been terrible. Like the
yeah,
product has been incredible. The product has been this year, and it just shows. The product has been okay. You catch a moment with something and I said this too, and people came down on me, like they came down on me really hard back in May for this. And I said, this doesn't feel right. This feels really icky and mean and nasty. And I don't like my music reflecting that. Call me soft if you want to, but I don't think this isn't what it should be. and people are like, "Whoa, you're being soft. This is what we. This is competition." I'm like, this ain't really what it's about no more. Like you
Yeah.
gotta make feel good stuff. People coming out of a pandemic, people can't get jobs, shit like that, and this is what you serving them. They are basically people are fucking forgetting about their problems listening to 360. You know what I'm saying? Like they're forgetting about their problems because there's good music out. There's feel good music out. Rap is not feel good right now. There's nothing to feel good about in rap right now, at all.
Yeah,
Mm,
it's tough.
mm.
It's definitely tough. Um,
Yeah, most of the albums I've listened to this year, looking at my music board, most of them are by my like people I keep up with, like personally. It's not like a lot of new people I tapped into. Like I said, the Shabuzi, I listened to his full project, Arya Star, but again, new rappers, no. I stick to who I like, who I know, and nothing's calling my name with a lot what's going on. Like I said, Casual Bane, I look seeing that man live. I said I don't ever, ever need to listen to a full project or any. I must stick to my Rum Punch, my Fisher remix, and my Grippy, and keep it alone. Like
I'm
people can
done.
keep it going Grippy all they want. I'm sorry, J. Cole slip. That sounds funny.
I can, yeah, I can do one scroll and I'm already at the Future Metro album. So that means I just haven't saved any albums this year.
Yeah, there's
Uh,
nothing to even that. I'm a huge Future fan. I don't go back to that. You know why? What it's connected to. It won't
yeah,
Right.
It won't be remembered for it being a solid project, which it is. It's gonna be remembered by like, ugh, these interludes are talking about this thing that I don't really want to fucking engage in because it's toxic.
yeah,
Mm.
for sure. No, no doubt. One last thing before we head into thing, I wanted to talk about. Shout out to everyone who supported did Anime NYC last weekend. Um, didn't know. Actually, I kind of low key knew, but I didn't really know. It wasn't really confirmed. When we did the podcast last week, I just know. Shout out to my homegirl Victoria, and I'll talk about this probably at more at length on the lookout thing about my full experience. But she's also been very instrumental in this. She essentially like gave us the WWE Connect, which got us all our interviews in like 2021.
Oh,
Um,
poor her.
yeah, she's incredible. So essentially, she was booked for a lot of like moderating, hosting things at Anime NYC, and couldn't do it on Sunday. Um, so she recommended me. She was like, "Oh, I told them all your accolades and all the things that you do, and et cetera, et cetera. So they're gonna reach out to you." Anyway, they reached out like last minute, super last minute. But I was down to do it anyway. And originally, I had to do two. Until one of the voice actors was like, "No, let me just can my man's do it?" And then I was like, you know what, fine, whatever. Um, I was kind of tight, but it is what it is. Uh,
Yeah.
but on Saturday, I got to interview Steve Bloom, who is the voice of Spike Spiegel and Cowboy Bebop, who is the voice of Tom on Toonami. And listening to like voice actors just speak is kind of crazy. But it was a great experience. And to be honest with you, going to the anime convention, it was much better than last year. They moved it from fall to summer, so it was a lot less frigid. Um,
Oh, okay.
and I will say this: usually, every year I go, I kind of see what's the dominant cosplay that comes out of this convention to kind of see where the industry's kind of at. One Piece, it's a wrap,
Oh, One
bro.
Piece. Oh,
It's
oh,
a
there's
one.
there's.
Everybody was One Piece. Someone from
Oh,
One
okay.
Piece. Yeah, it's a One Piece is pretty much the I don't know if it's because of the Netflix thing. I don't know. It's just because of everything else. But like, I remember Justin, you talked about it when you went to Japan, how big One Piece was over there. But it
It's it's
is,
it's just One Piece's time, man. It just
yeah,
really is its time. Like it was like Disney over there. Like One Piece was
Mm.
what I say last year. It was bigger than God. It was bigger than God over there. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like it was a huge fucking deal. And seeing it cross over to the United States, it was kind of weird. I almost felt like I brought it back with me because after I came back, that's all I saw.
right. No,
Uh,
it definitely because once they had the live action, and then the Gear 5 and all the other shit that came out all after the fact. But like, nah, One
yeah.
Piece is running it right now from like popularity perspective. And you know what? It was dope to see everyone on the cosplay. I managed to get mad people in. Shout out to Rob and his brother. I got them in for free because I got like mad extra tickets. My homeboy Jimmy and his brother got him in for free.
But then you told
I
him to
went.
walk up. You go to walk up to the front of the line and say, "Get him, get him in the front."
Yeah, no, I was like, yo, you ever been? That feeling is amazing, by the way. Like telling security, like, no, they were with me, come on, come on in. And he was like, oh, they were you,
Nah, it is.
they
they,
were
they,
you,
they just look
okay,
at you like, okay, we'll let it go. Everyone else, stop.
yeah, you know
Who
what
would you
I'm saying?
say? Right. Who would you say is like another voice actor you would like to really like sit down and pick their brain off? Like who else?
I've talked to a lot, but I definitely do want to talk
Oh,
to. Don't do that.
period. He said, well, I've talked to many already, but I guess if who's left,
No, I want to
real.
talk to Christopher Sabat more. We got to talk very, very briefly on a press thing for Dragon Ball Super, but he's been in everything. He's the voice of Vegeta, voice of Piccolo, voice of All Might, voice of someone from Yu Yu Hakusho, voice for someone in One Piece, voice for some. He has done everything. Um, so I would love to like pick his brain. I don't know how he doesn't have a podcast already. I don't know how him and Sean Shamel, the voice of Goku and Vegeta, don't have a podcast.
Mhm.
It seems like
Ooh,
there's a
the
lot of money being
stories.
left on the table, bruh. There's a lot of. I'm sure
Yeah.
they don't want to do it. I'm sure that's the
Right.
reason why.
Right.
Um, but it's a lot of money being left on the table with that idea. I'm just saying. Maybe I just gave away a free fucking multi-million-dollar idea, but I, who knows? But it was fun.
Hey,
It was
Sean, did
a
you
great
watch?
time.
They're gonna be like,
It
"Hey,
was,
Sean, did you watch A show? They gave us a good idea. We should think about that. You should."
Sean Schemmel don't. He seems very like I go and record my lines, I get out, and then I go handle my other shit. Um, but no, it was dope. Everything was dope. It was mad people there. It was amazing. Had a great weekend. Went to my first. Shout out to also Rob Nelson and Devin, Rob's brother, because I went to my first Yankee game the other day. It was amazing. So I'm gonna have a good. I'm holding on my like photo dump for the summer on IG, and I feel like it's gonna be a good one. So I'm excited about that.
Ooh, we love a good dump, especially on IG. You could do 20 photos now. You better light it
Nah,
up
that's fucking too
for
much, bro. 20 photos is
that's
insane.
also real. They gave me the option. I said, 8. Thank you. I don't need 20. Thank you.
Yeah. Um, let's talk about wrestling, Justin.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. All right. Kind of a big. Actually, it's going to be like a big next week and a half for wrestling, and even further than that, we're
Yeah.
rolling into the fall season. We're going to talk about All In a little bit. This weekend we're going to be doing predictions for Bash in Berlin. We could do a little slight preview prediction for No Mercy as well. That's on Sunday, and then we have the debut of SmackDown on USA in like 2 weeks. So like there's a lot of stuff going on.
And then
And
All Out is also in like 2 weeks as well.
oh
Yawn,
God. Oh,
yawn,
he said
yawn, yawn.
where do we want to start? We want to start with All In? I guess we should start there.
Let's start with All
Yes.
In. Let's start with All In. To be honest with you, shout out to you guys. I have not watched All In full. I barely watched it in parts, but I know what happened. But how was the overall show? Do you think, Justin? How was the overall show?
I thought it was a good show. Like from what I saw, I jumped into it during the tail end. I think I started watching right after Ricochet debuted. So I started it from there. Anything before that, I don't know. But I thought what I saw was good. It was fine. Like I think that, and I think Quan will either talk about this or he said this or we talked about it in the chat. Like the in ring for AEW is definitely not where it used to be. Like it's definitely to a point. And I said this while I was watching it. Some of this is indistinguishable from what you might see on Monday Night Raw or in a pay per view on any given week. Like
Yeah.
it's
Yes.
not super crazy anymore. Like the styles are actually a lot of the same. I think what gets people fucked up is the production of what's going on. Like you'll still see a lot of the same stuff, but there's a main event style that is very different than WWE main event style. I think WWE main events have very different versions of itself, and we saw that kind of at SummerSlam. You saw the CM Punk type, we saw the Judgment Day type, and we saw the Cody match, which I'll just put it in its own thing, right? So AEW has AEW main event style, and it's its own thing, and you can kind of guess what it is. You know what I mean? And I think that like a lot of the stuff that we saw there, like you could see on a regular Dynamite, like it felt like Dynamite match. but the main event felt main event. It felt special. And I think that's what differentiated it, other than one match that I also had the displeasure of watching on.
Ha 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 ha. Ha.
Bosa, what are your overall thoughts on it?
Um, this is my first AW pay per view in like whatever pay per view Hikaru won the title the first time was my first
The
one, and this
first
is the first
time
time.
during the pandemic?
Yeah, I tell you, look, I'm one of the. Hey, I don't watch this stuff.
I
Oh,
feel you.
but
I
like,
feel you. I appreciate you
watch.
watching it for the sake of the show.
I was like, I should. I want to. I want to go in with something to talk. I want to. I want to speak. And boy, do. But the overall, I it wasn't. It was fine. Something I really realized watching this, I was like, no one in these matches like plays for the camera, for the crowd a lot. And I guess what I mean by that, a lot of matches seem very like they're like I want to. I don't want to say introverted, but they feel like that. They feel like the opponents are just into themselves, just trying to get their like still trying to get what they got to get off, not really like letting things linger. And that's also been a big problem for AW, I guess, in just their matches in general. But watching like sitting down and just watching it in like full, just trying to understand, I was like, yeah, I really see it, and it shows a lot in the trios ladder match. It shows a lot there. Like they would do stuff and then they just move on. The cameraman like, oh, okay. And so it's like, ooh, like let things happen. Let things happen. In the main event, like you said, Justin, the main event style is definitely different compared to the WWE one I'm used to, of course. But I still felt like as someone who watches WWE mainly on a regular basis, I could get with it. Like it wasn't anything crazy, but we're gonna get into specifics, I guess, later of that in another match. But yeah, I thought it was a fine little time. Still too long, but if it's their biggest show of the year,
Yeah.
I'm gonna let them have it. I'm gonna let them have it. I'm gonna let them have it. It's real.
I mean,
Yeah.
I felt that the crowd was definitely more behind the main event than a lot of the other things that were going on during the show.
Yes. Yes.
The main event was
Mhm.
definitely like what they came to the and MJF Osprey. Like those were the two matches
Yes.
that they paid to see. And
Yeah.
I feel like people are strangely not talking about that match enough almost. Like
What, MJF Osprey?
yeah, I feel like no one's really talking about that match, right? Like I feel like everyone's talking
Yeah.
about the main.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or Mercedes and Britt.
Yeah.
But
Mm,
It's
mm.
odd to have a show where Osprey and MJF almost feel like they are muted or like the fourth from the top. But I said this myself. I said it on the War Report. I said it on here. This is what happens when you book a guy that's like the biggest thing or should be the biggest thing on your shows, and you give him a mid card belt and you make him in a main eventer try and wrestle over a mid card belt. It just does. It's not going to work. Like
There's a mhm.
the match was fine. I thought it was a good match, but I also couldn't. I felt as though after Osprey won, you get this big win over MJF. You have this long, well, not long, it's like 6 weeks, but you have this story where, he took all these things from you. He's been disrespecting you. He basically called you everything but a bitch last week. You beat him. You have all the fireworks, and then they got to move on to the next match.
yeah.
And that match still happens to be Mercedes versus Britt, which they were never, and let's just be clear, they were never going to be able to top this match just in terms of like fan care and emotion. They just didn't care, and I think that's where the first part of the match fell apart for me, was that like the fans did not give a shit about this match. And I think that the conversation needs to be had as well on the performer side, that I felt like Britt really kind of didn't hold her end of the bargain here. I felt like she
Shit
was
the bed. She shit the bed, bro. She
she was
shit the bed.
several steps behind. And
Oh my god.
I think that we I think it's a conversation that people have always had, is like when Britt gets in there with some real beaters, you know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna be a problem. She's gonna get exposed. And I think that's really what happened here.
I legitimately, so I said this a couple weeks ago. I'm not sure if I said it on Discord or on the show, but when you look at how often the women wrestle on AEW, you realize at some point, like someone like Britt Baker, who this is maybe like her second or third match back, she does not wrestle often. So just
No.
invariably by that, she's not going to be able to build up to this main event caliber style. And maybe this is an excuse because, quite honestly, I feel like a Becky Lynch could probably do it if she came out of
Hey,
nowhere and do it. There's something
hey.
wrong. You know what I'm saying? If she came out of nowhere for after an Exodus for mad long, she could probably wrestle a main event style match. But Britt Baker, just in general, the women in AEW don't get enough reps to be able to, one, kind of even formulate a really main event style for the women, um, or two, just to have practice. You're returning from almost a year off, and you look like very, very slow.
You look like
This
Bro,
just I know I didn't want to do anything crazy, but no, it's just
her
very, very slow, like super slow.
her matches are already very like Justin, you said it perfectly. It was one time you was like, she gives 5, 6, 5, 6. Like
yeah.
she already wrestles like that. So to do it even slower off a hiatus, man, this match pissed me off down because, like again, just like you said, the fans already didn't care from the jump. From the moment Mercedes music hits and they have that dumb CEO going in the background, I've seen it on Dynamite where the crowds may do it with her sometimes. The crowd did not do it. They had to turn it, they had to play it again for it to come in. I was like, oh man. So if he was already off. But the
It
match is
Bad. It is legitimately probably one of the worst matches of the year. I mean,
it's
it's a problem when you're paying. I'm pretty sure Maxine Dupree ain't getting paid where Britt Baker is getting paid, and they look like they had the same skill to
right. You
win
know
that
what I'm saying? Even last year, for instance, right? Like I think it was last year or the year before. Like it was this big promoted match between Soraya and Britt Baker. It was like, oh shit, it's happening now, and that shit the bed as well. I think we have. It's like a real conversation that needs to happen with kind of Britt Baker, um, because she is a great talker, and I think you can get across that in her popularity. You can't really deny that in AEW. She's definitely a major force. But when it comes to like in the ring, listen, I wouldn't be surprised if she ends up being like tucked away on Collision.
good.
I'm not gonna say Rampage because they seemingly have
Both.
Soraya kind of like built on that show. Um, and I think it would get a lot of like flack if she was just kept on Rampage for a long, long time. But I wouldn't be surprised if she's like Saturday nights, whatever the hell she's got going on. I don't see this Mercedes Monet Britt Baker feud continuing at
No.
all.
And then I think, Britt deserves her lashings. She does. I've been saying this for years. However, I think this match should also open up a discussion for Mercedes because I think someone who, the fans of, Four Horsemen, blase, 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 all that jazz. I think this opens up of what you need to be able to do as a star while also like making yourself look good, making your opponent look good.
Yeah.
And Mercedes does not do that in this. I think that's really what I think this match definitely solidifies it for me, as a former reformed, also reformed. Ugh, what's it called? I forgot her stand's name. I don't recognize Crew. I don't look. I just like the woman. But this match, I was like, bro, this separates her from someone like Bailey or Becky. As we've seen over the past 2 years, Bailey and Becky make people look good on a consistent basis. Liv, Nia, I said Nia. Oh my God, Nia, Tiffany. What's it called? Some others. I'm trying to think of some other examples, but those are big three that come to mind. And for someone, Britt should also be able to hold her own. She's been in this company since its inception, and but as we see, you still need both need to be able to do their role, and I don't think Mercedes does anything to make Britt look good, even in the slightest as well, and that doesn't help that she's over there. There's two egomaniacs just trying,
Yes.
and it shows bad, and then I think the biggest aspect I hated about this is they're constantly talking. The storytelling in this match is god awful because they keep beating down Britt's back. Oh, Britt's had her herniated disc. She needed to get surgery. Hey, she keeps going on that back. Britt, you're back. They keep doing it, and then what's the finish? a, a weak. Mercedes does power moves in this match. When you're not that big. You don't look good doing this. You don't look good. She slams her knee, the weak move, and then she does that trash finish. She does that weak finisher on her face. Like It don't work. It don't work. I was sitting there. I was like, I book better than this, man. It's like this is terrible.
There was a lot of weird stuff and weirdness with the women on this show. Other than like I guess Tony and Mariah, which I didn't get a chance to watch, but like
That
Jamie
wasn't bad.
Jamie Hayter coming out
On the
just like
pre-show.
on the pre-show, and I'm like, wait,
That was on the pre-show.
yeah, like you were in a huge storyline, you had the title, like, and now you're just like, fuck it, I want Soraya now. I
Yeah, it's
makes
just
no sense.
the Mariah May timeless. That was, I mean, we talked about it. That was low key one of their hottest feuds, and it kind of got the Jericho versus KO at WrestleMania spot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It being the second on the show, especially after a ladder match. They need to run that back at All Out, and put it in a much more meaningful spot on the card. Like that's what I would do.
Especially because it was the better match out of the women's matches. Like
Yeah,
they give
but
them that, please.
yeah, funky finish aside, it was still pretty good.
Yeah.
But no, I mean from the things that I've seen in the stuff, I mean the main event certainly lived
Pour
up.
one
I
out,
mean
pour one
that
out for Swerve. Pour one out for Swerve. Rest in piss.
I
He
mean
finally
it's
Nope. Let it happen. Let it happen.
was
hey
his.
Let it
man,
happen.
Was it good? Was it good? Was it good? Was it good? Who do
The
you face?
rain.
Who do you face? Who do you
he,
face?
he faced Osprey, he faced Christian Cage, he faced who the fuck did he face? Cesaro. Uh,
Woo!
The names get worse. I was like, Will
yeah.
Ospreay, nice. Christian, ooh.
I think
Cesaro, ooh.
so. I guess what their goal was to elevate him in a much more meaningful way for he can be in the main event scene. But I honestly don't see him lingering in the main event much longer.
He's
Just
cooked.
based, yeah, just kind of based how AEW is run, just in general. I can't see him lingering in the main event. It's just, even because their development ain't right. The decisions that they make aren't right, and it was no clearer than the debut of Ricochet.
I'm gonna sit back.
Man,
I'm gonna sit in my chair real quick. You
First
too.
of all, my guy, of course, we love Ricochet. We love a millionaire.
You're
But
bringing the money up. See, because here's the thing. We just had this conversation a week ago, and I was like, "This the monkey's paw right here." The finger just went down when you was
hey
talking.
man, no. But here's my thing. I assumed you would be in the Casino Gauntlet Battle Royal. But my thing is that your first impression is always important, especially in wrestling. You know what I'm saying? You can't debut him as just another person from out of the portal. Like, and then he doesn't win the match. Like, it's a lot of things. It's clear kind of where they're positioning him on the card. Is there opportunity for him to become bigger? Yeah, there's always opportunity. But but let me finish. But with the way this company runs, and I think what they see the value in him for, which is his in-ring work, I don't foresee him at this moment, just based off first impressions. I don't see him immediately as a top guy in AEW.
because he's not, bro. He's not even involved. I don't remember. First of all, this match type is stupid. This was the first time I watched a casino, but I was like, it's one fall. All these people coming in the ring, and we gotta wait, anyways. And so I'm watching.
People loved
He's
it. I
not.
don't know.
He doesn't do anything past when he comes in. I'm just like, okay, you
Match,
debut him in this.
people love the match or Ricochet's part because he's only in there for like 4 minutes.
Yeah, like he does. Like he doesn't. He's just a footnote, and it doesn't help that he debuts. And usually, when these debuts happen on these pay-per-views, they're kind of the most talked about thing to me,
Yeah.
to what I see.
Yeah.
He debuted, and then it was like, nice.
I put that on commentary though. They're pretty terrible. But
Nice is
Oh,
crazy, by the
awful.
way.
Cause that's what he's treated.
he comes out. I mean, again, Boss is right. Like he comes out, he does some moves. He does a bunch of. I saw somebody say, "Yeah, he's unlocked his move set." I'm like, this the same shit. The same shit he was doing at WWE. What does he unlock? What does he unlock? Meals.
No,
Chat. What is he unlocked?
he has not unlocked anything. If anything, he limits himself on purpose. Um, Ricochet definitely limits himself on purpose because he knows he'd rather pull out big stuff when it matters. He'd rather pull out big things when it actually matters. He doesn't go out and do, like, for instance, I think the biggest move that he had was a springboard shooting star press, which is like what you're going to get in that multi-man kind of match. So that's essentially what he's going to pull out. Could he do more? He could do way more, but there's nothing more to unlock. He's 35, 36 years old. Like, he's done everything he's going to do.
I think him coming out, hitting a couple moves, and then promptly getting buckshot lariated, and then never showing up again is just a encapsulation. I'm sorry, Mills, of what you were saying. The problem was with him in WWE. That is exactly what would have happened to him in WWE.
I feel like the Intercontinental Championship tournament probably could have used him, but
Yeah.
it's just from what I've seen thus far. But
I mean, your boy is in it, so you mean that he ain't worthy of being in it? Your boy was in it.
I'm not
in it.
replacing
Miz was
anyone in that
working
tournament
Battle of
with
Super
Ricochet.
Junior Miz. Come on, man.
He sure was. Like, no, I'm not replacing anyone. I let 4K stay in that spot over Ricochet. Hey, man, he played his role.
Like it could have been Rick. It could have been Rick. It was all Rick.
It could have been Rick is going to be a new thing now. No, but I think just in general, debuts thing matter. I feel like AEW over the last number of years, they relatively have the same kind of debut thing. It's usually in a match. It's usually after a match. It's usually one of these things that kind of comes up and then it leads to nothing. I don't know if they have any long-term creative for him other than Osprey.
They don't.
It doesn't seem like they do.
They won't.
And it seems like, I don't know. It's just, to me, first impressions are very, very important. To me, this kind of made him seem like another guy, albeit the people were excited to see him. He faces Kyle Fletcher on Wednesday. I'm sure the match will be exactly what you think it will be, and he will win. And
he's 50-50, 17 to 18 minutes, 2 commercial breaks, picture in picture for both, of course.
Yeah.
And he's gonna have to put him away with the Sonic spin dash he does for the top rope, and they're gonna have him do that.
That's funny. That Sonic spin.
That's what he does.
But no, another.
What do you rate this debut, Mills? I just want you to be honest. What do you rate this debut?
No, I don't debut. I don't rate it very high. We've seen it many times before. I don't think it does anything to make him really a top star that he should be. I feel like it comes off similar to like a very like lateral move. So I would probably rate it. I'll be honest. I rate it like a 6 out of 10. Like, it was nice, great reaction.
And then after the show, he gets online and he starts tweeting.
Man, I think the tweeting part is actually what ruins it more. Because at least when these other debuts happen, these are the other debuts happen. Like, they don't say anything. Nothing happens. They may tweet the all is all in and that stuff, or may say, "Oh, tweet I'm here," or something corny. Having full blown conversations with randoms who are on your side, trying to be nice. What are we doing here? Like, get off. Oof.
Yeah, time for him to go. It's time for him to go and get offline, bro, because it's bad. Like, I think the Twitter stuff made it look worse. And if anyone didn't see it, there was like an interaction he had with the fan that said, like, "Ricochet, I love your work, but like, basically I'm not watching AEW." And
essentially.
He's like, "Well, you love me, but you won't follow me." And I'm like, I think you almost see it in real time, like, and I wonder if this is like this for everybody. I know Edge probably felt this, right? Like, when people said that they weren't following him to AEW, where it's like, yes, they're not going to, like, not everyone they like the brand, and it's like the same with like NFL, NBA, Marvel, Disney. They like the brand. They're not gonna go anywhere else to get what they want. They are hyper served by this one company. They don't need to go anywhere else. That's why this wrestling's for everyone type thing.
It's like me as a kid. Kurt Angle was one of my favorite wrestlers. I did not watch TNA Kurt Angle. I just did it. I
Who?
couldn't.
Nor
Um,
did you need to, because all of the stuff that you need was already being hyper served to you. It's like next man up when it comes to that. So like,
yeah, for
you
sure.
know, like Ricochet was like he got kind of chafed about it, and I think that the chafing of it, I don't know if it should have been public. I felt like it was like in that moment you kind of just move on. You know what I mean? And I
I
think that
agree.
I don't know what it is about AEW where it's like once they get there and they don't have a social media policy, the gloves are fucking off, and we start to see like the worst of all these niggas. Like
We
we
should.
really do.
We show why you weren't in the positions you were. Man, let me tell you, as a John Morrison fan, okay?
Oh boy.
After he left the first time, I said, dang. I'm not what's it called? Lucha Underground? Nice. He's doing cool stuff.
Hey man, Johnny Mundo,
Nice.
that looks cool.
Nice. Cool. Cool. When he came back, what's it called? 2019, I said, oh, the stars are aligned. He left again? Oh, shucks.
Well,
I'm not following you. And then he went to A. I was like, oh,
AEW.
I'm not
He's in
following you. I'm not.
AEW.
Oh, nope. I
He's on
don't
the
know.
ROH. I think. I think he's on ROH.
I'm gonna take your word. I don't know.
That's funny.
Like
Uh,
I'm used.
One more
I
thing.
agree with that.
One more thing
Go.
from All In. Um,
The scrum.
well, I
Ooh,
guess
I
two
Mind
more
love
things.
you,
Scrum.
mind you,
Two
we
more
talked,
things. Two more things. Two more things.
yeah, mind you, we
Um,
talked about Brian in like a combined total of like 2 seconds.
yeah. I mean, he won. Congrats. Clap it up for him.
That match. Them
Daniel
last 10. Them
Garcia.
last.
Ah, yeah, Daniel Garcia.
My man shows up in the match. I thought it would have been a great write off for him to like be gone. So now it's kind of questions about his future. Will he stay in AEW? Will he move over to WWE? It's been reported that he has not yet signed a contract, which to me is a very spooky unless you're putting him through a windshield of a car. Um, there should be no reason why he's on TV and costing one of your main eventers a match if he's not committed to the company as of yet.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they
He was
this to
weird.
me seems like a very like sell, please stay, don't leave by Blackstreet kind of vibe. You know what I'm saying? Um, what
Is
it
it?
would
Yeah.
I I am. If I was at first confused, but afterwards very much like this seems dumb, but it also probably makes a lot of fucking sense in what they're trying to do with this story, because it's such a footnote. It's not even like a big deal that he came back. Like that whole thing just seems like it's like, oh, it happened, and he's gone. To me, I don't think anything's set in stone. I'm not sure what the reporting is, if he was to leave or not to leave, but I will say that it does feel like there might be an MJF Daniel Garcia match, and that the result of that match will let us know what's going on. And I think that's what we should probably wait for.
interesting. Okay, all right. So you're saying this is like part of the story was probably always intended to happen, but the story isn't. My view from it was like, oh, he got written off TV.
Yeah,
That
which
was
it which it looked like he did.
right because he got it was the you got the worst of it all. But he's back now, and it looks like we may get the official writing off of TV.
Yes, which in AEW fashion, he gets written off twice. So the first one wasn't good enough.
Right.
It could be loser leaves AEW. It could be anything. You know what I mean? But I'm not too I'm not too convinced. I'm still not too convinced that he's gonna stay. I'm not
Okay.
too. Even when that happened, I was just like, huh. So they're really gonna write him off again?
He didn't even look like he was there mentally when he did it. He was like, "Oh, I'm interfering in this match."
That's how he looks all the time. That's how I listen.
Yeah, that's literally his face all the time. No,
Ah,
it's we'll see. I mean, All Out is in 2 weeks. I'm sure we'll know by then. If not before then, directly after that. I'm sure. Um
They didn't put his signing the contract on a pre-tape on a pre-show, so I mean, we don't know,
sign the extension. We got Swerve for 4 more years. It was like, all right, well,
I said good. I said
yeah,
good. Keep him.
um,
I
knock it
saw that
out.
date. It said Yowers. Keep bum. Yippee! My tail be wagging. I don't
Hey,
know. Keep that,
man,
man. 2028.
he's better off in AEW. It's not even like a decision of anything, or rather, I don't think at any point in his career moving forward would he be better off at WWE.
No,
Could
no.
he work at the if there's some like end game where AEW went out of business and was sold and stuff? Could he work in WWE? Probably, but ideally, the best place for him is in AEW. It just is what it is. Um, the Scrum.
Oh, what happened to the scrum? I didn't see
Well,
a scrum. What
I
happened to
well,
the
didn't hear
scrum?
I didn't hear much about it other than the Mercedes thing that people have been hitting the
Oh, that.
no.
I
Oh, that's from
think,
that.
yeah. So beyond the normal stuff, they announced the stadium show that's happening in February in Australia. Um, they announced Forbidden Doors coming back next August in London. Did not say it was going to be Wembley Stadium, so I assume it's going to be a proper arena. Um, they announced kind of various things. They use this big event to announce various touch points on their calendar. Um, so we got to this media scrum. Let's essentially all the champions come out. I think it would have been a great opportunity for Ricochet to come out and explain why I
No,
signed to AEW.
He wasn't at the
no.
scrum.
No, he wasn't at the scrum. They only had the champions.
He-
Hey, Disney,
Well,
they, they,
they only had the champions. I don't know
they,
what to say.
they called me a madman.
They literally only had the champions. Is all I'll say.
They
You know what I'm
called me
saying?
a madman.
Except
Bosa,
Jack Perry.
Bosa, they called me a madman.
he didn't even get to come to talk. Hey Tony, can I say why I signed here? He's like, oh sure, buddy, but another time.
What did I say 2 months ago? What does he want? and,
Listen,
and if it's money, then hey, more power to you.
so this Mercedes Monet thing, a reporter, I believe it was from PW Torch, asked for essentially during the interview, everyone's asking their fluff questions about like, hey, what do you think about the AEW women's division? And like, what are your thoughts about the match that you just had, and et cetera, et cetera. And then one of the reporters, I think it was, I'm not sure if it was Wade, but it was definitely from PW Torch, essentially asked, like, hey, a couple of weeks ago, you put out a video surrounding your divorce, and she gave the big eye roll initially. And she's like, what? And um, he asked,
Oh yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, he asked after saying like, no, she says, no, I will not date you. And he's like 9 years happily married. Um, which is like low key funny.
She was in
Um,
character, and then she realized, like after he was like, "Oh no, he's actually gonna ask a real question here."
yeah, she actually essentially all he asked was, what did you learn from this situation? Or like, is there any advice you would have for someone going through this situation? And essentially she was like, what, are you about to break to your wife some news? Um,
Okay.
and I don't even remember what the proper answer was. I just remember being like, you let I got a thing weeks ago for asking why do we know this information?
Yeah.
Like, why is she telling us this? Albeit leaked or not, right? If this situation leaks and stuff like that, again, you don't have to tell us. You don't have to jump in front of anything to tell us.
Mhm.
Um, will your fans thing? No, but this is something where a tweet would suffice. Hey, separated, da, 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 happy with my life and happy of things moving forward, et cetera, et cetera. No, it was a whole rollout. There was a video, there was a TMZ report that people swears that like, oh, TMZ had to report it or something along those lines. TMZ don't give a fuck about Mercedes Monet.
Yeah.
I'm telling you that right now. Like, as someone who it has worked in media and know how these things kind of operate, and everyone wants to go with the fact like it was leaked, so she was just trying to hop in front of it to save everybody else. She could give a fuck about how this is all for the narrative. And the thing that struck me out as weird was this woman who normally doesn't really share any personal things. She does all her
Nothing.
interviews and kayfabe. You don't really get anything from the real Mercedes Bernardo, to be honest with you, unless she allows it. Um, so to me, it was strange that we were learning this information, or she decided to have this like 2 minute sit down, which looked to be part of a bigger pilot.
Yeah.
um, which
The
was
podcast hasn't come back since, by the way.
yeah. So I think essentially, to me, if I had a thing, she saw the news, she was like, you know what, let me just put this piece of the video out since we already recorded it, and I thought I was going to be able to reveal it then, but now I guess I'm going to reveal it now, and then also shared it with TMZ. That's what I'm assuming would happen. Um, People were up in arms because I was just like,
Weird question, bro.
yeah, weird question. Why would you ask that at this point? I'm like, bro, he's asking a question based off of something that she
She told us. She told us.
It was
that
a
was
basic question too. It wasn't like scandalous. It was like, do you have any advice for people going through these things? I was like, this is like such a fan question too.
Right.
Like it wasn't. It was a honestly like I won't say it's a bad question. It was just kind of like basic. You know what I mean? It could have been like, hey, it could have been simply like, hey, it was a rough time for me, and I just want to let people know that you can still move on, or you can still, I'm still fighting it myself. So I'm still trying to find strength in something. You know what I mean? Like she
Right.
is incapable of having human responses or reactions to anything to answer to that. And it's like someone like was just like, well, they don't do this I'm like, they do this to every single celebrity.
they
They do
do
this
this
to
to everybody. They were like,
Which
oh,
is
they don't do
crazy
this.
because
They don't do this to the
Mhm.
men. I was like, John Cena was just asked about pregnancy on Club Shay Shay like a week and a half ago.
It's especially because from a community that begs people to ask these wrestlers these crazy hard questions just to get that tribalism up. It's weird to suddenly pull that rug and be like, wait, not her, not her. It's like it's kind of crazy, especially because I'm now hearing the question and
Right.
hearing the response. I was like, she like you said, she had a chance to be relatable for once. She
I
had a
can I
chance to
can
just sit there.
understand. I can understand. Sorry to cut you off, by the way. I can
No.
understand saying like, "Oh, this question was weird in context of like everything else that was asked." Fine, right? It
Right,
was,
right. Hmm.
but
There
it
was
doesn't
nothing.
say.
But Mills, they didn't even ask about the fucking match that she
That's
had.
what there's nothing to write home about, bro. How did you feel when you when the match was over? That's probably what I would have asked, and she might have said relieved.
The
I don't
It's
weirdest
know.
like what?
thing was that she said that the only thing that Britt showed her is that she was a Mercedes fan. And I was like, well, that definitely seemed weird considering that you didn't say that about Stephanie or you didn't say that about Willow or anyone else you faced. I thought that
What
that
is that? What does that mean?
But Brit is a Mercedes fan, allegedly and outspokenly and stuff for like Mercedes and the Bellas and all the other shit like that. Um, and that's probably why they wanted to work together. But to me, I'm like, this isn't a hard question to answer. This is not even a hard question to stomach, knowing that you put out this information for the people. It's for public consumption. You didn't put this out for yourself. You put this out for public consumption. And
she should have known.
yeah,
And to the point I was making was this was an unmoderated media scrum.
Mhm.
And we've been in interview situations where they say, "Do not ask about this." If they did not want people to ask about her divorce, at the top of the scrum, they would have said, hey, y'all, thanks for coming out. Just a couple of things before we start, just some housekeeping things. When Mercedes comes out, you're not to ask her about X, Y, and Z, and anything else is fair game. Thank you, and walk away. That's literally all they had to do. So to act like he like he pulled a fast one on her, I'm like, it's crazy because if anything, and you wanted her to be protected, AEW should have protected her from that question if that was the case. But they went in
Tony Khan
stuff.
almost blew a gasket when someone called the FTW title a joke.
It is.
He was like, yeah, I understand, the FTW title initially came in as a joke, and he was like, wait a minute, it's not a joke, actually, the history, and he went into this whole tirade about whatever the hell the FTW title was. But again, like you said, Justin, this was an opportunity where they could have stepped in as well, but they didn't. But you know what? It wasn't really a tough question.
Yeah.
To me, it was just so strange, and all the flack that I got and all the other stuff like that, it doesn't really matter to me but to me, I'm like,
They
you
said
guys are
they were
arguing over things that you normally make fun of for other people going through this situation.
bro.
Like,
We went through and we honestly sat through worse questions at these scrums that people have like scratching their head. Like remember EO and Taylor Swift?
Eo was asked
Yeah.
about Taylor Swift
It's
4 months ago. Like,
like
what are we doing here?
and again, if it's if it's unmoderated, and these things are like Mark Fest anyway, and that's for both companies. Like they're none of them are good. You know what I'm saying? So like that question was so innocuous and it's strange that people put their foot down on that, where it's like, hey, you told me about that, and it's like this is, and someone said that we had a vendetta or something. I'm like, we don't have a fucking vendetta. Like even if we don't like enjoy the whole thing about this person's personality online, doesn't mean that she's not a great performer. We literally just gave her props today. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no vendetta against any of this shit. We're just calling it what it is. As journalists, this is
This is
definitely not as
part of the
weird.
core.
Yes, this is not as weird as people think it is. Like they definitely ask about shit like this all the time, and it doesn't. You don't have to be black, white, indifferent. Jennifer Lopez is gonna get asked about the divorce. Ben Affleck's gonna get asked about their divorce. Like they're celebrities. Is she the biggest person in the Mandalorian, or is she not? And I'm just being real. Is she a celebrity or is she not? Or is she a celebrity? Like if
No, that's the question I have as well. Like, are we not supposed to ask these questions? Because even though it's like, again, I could understand if something leaked and you asking like this is private and personal to me, I would rather not answer it. Fine, but you told us for whatever reason.
it's out,
Especially because she told us when a lot of people could have already assumed something must have happened, because it's not like they've been posted up together or doing anything like with for a good amount of years now.
Yeah,
So
but no, I
she could
don't.
have
No, go ahead, finish off.
she could have let nothing be said. Nothing came out, nothing gonna, and everyone just moved on.
I wouldn't
No
have
one
cared
no
because
no one
it's not our business.
it's not our business, and no one cares about the other dude. Like we just worried about you. Like the fans wouldn't have bothered. So to make this a big deal, make it like she like she's facing something that's astronomically crazy. No. No, no, you don't get to play that card when you made it a trump card. You put it on the deck. And niggas just flipped it over. Like what? Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
It was
it was
kind of
strange.
nuts.
It was strange. But let's get to these predictions. I just realized we just been chatting.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Wait. Before
I
we get to
love a
prediction,
yap session.
before before we get to predictions, Barbosa, how was SmackDown on Friday?
You know, something I realized, and I'm gonna sound crazy when I say this. I was sitting there, I was like, I think I prefer Raw over this. Mainly because
Huh.
SmackDown in person is too short. I was like,
Raw
I
is too
need
long for me. Raw is the one that's the issue for me.
I can see I can see that, just because, obviously the extra hour you're
SmackDown
sitting
is on
there. But
fucking Friday, by the way.
that too, like, and then I'm sitting there. It was a good time. It was like it was very fun. I lose my brain cells when I'm at these events. I'm so sorry. At the WWE live events, I'm cheering and booing everyone. I'm cheering everyone. Like even like everyone getting up and booing the heels. I'm like, what they do wrong? What they do wrong? What they do wrong? Bro. I singing along to everything. It's always fun going to these things. SmackDown this recently. This was I think this was my third SmackDown. Yeah. So going again under this new regime, new era. It's always a fun time. Always a fun time. Yeah.
How was the LA Night pop?
It was big. I'm sorry. I told my friend, I was like, if you see me cheering LA Knight, you didn't. I'm sorry. That's fun to do. Saying yeah live. Yeah. Yeah. That is fun. It was so fun. It was loud. Yeah. He's over Rover. I think Pops of the Night, he definitely ranks easily top 3. Because even when he came back and they showed his little open challenge thing, he got a big pop for that again, just appearing on screen. Like, yeah, he's there. He's there. I give his tens. I give his tens. Mr. Hagerstown. I give props where props are due.
Your sounds where
You
they
know.
drink some IPAs at.
Oh, don't. Yuck.
Let's get into Bash of Berlin.
No, let's get into No Mercy real quick. Real quick. Very,
Oh,
very
okay, yeah, of course.
six matches on this. This is probably the
More
one.
than Bash of Berlin.
Well, they got to get in, get out, man. They got to be in the ball arena that Monday. So like that's where that's where No Mercy is going to be at on Sunday.
That's funny.
Um, I would say like other than aside from one match, everything's gotten like a pretty solid build. I'll just start from the top here. Roxanne Perez, Jada Parker. What we thinking?
What? Jada, no. Rox carries it. It's gonna be what I'll give her. It's gonna be a good showing for Jada. I think this would be a great way for her to get her beak wet with a real heater, like in Rocks, because it's Rocks and kind of everyone else in that division. There's in betweens. There's the Lolas. I can't think of there's the Soul Rukas, but I think Jada giving a chance to go big time with Rocks will do a big number for her. I think that's the big problem. That's the big takeaway. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to see how Jada Parker performs in this match. Just based on like this is like her first like truly major test. She had that street fight with Mi Chin, which I think probably got her to the spot. To be honest with you, um, and yeah, I'm looking forward to see how she kind of performs in this match and see how it goes. I'm not sure if they had anything. I think NXT was taped last week, so not sure if they
Yeah,
did anything this week.
this
Oh.
week's tape because I believe they since everyone's gone, I guess they gave them a week off.
You know
So
how
they
they do. You know how the NXT kids Labor Day weekend.
yeah, they always be getting lit. So yeah, that's what they're gonna
You're like,
do.
go home to your families or don't.
So I think Roxanne is going to come out on top here too. I think they are properly setting her up for October. I think, like I said on the War Report last week, I feel like NXT seems to be moving in the direction of it's time to start moving us toward the next chapter in NXT.
Yeah.
And it seems like this is what they're trying to do or they're attempting to do right now. Speaking of, we have Wesley versus Zachary Wentz in a singles match. I obviously think they should have a stip, but we'll see what happens here. This has been built up for about almost a month now, with Wesley turning on the Rascals. Zachary, of course, showed up last week on NXT, and yeah, looks like they're going to be having their first singles match here.
Bosa, this your guy. What do you
It's
think?
my guy. It's a Bosa Brigade lieutenant. I gotta look out for him. I think this is gonna be amazing. Amazing. I'm not the biggest fan of this recent West turn, but I think at the end of the day, he's still going to perform in the ring. I'm not so familiar with Zachary's work, besides the short MSK stint. But it's sure I've been watching the matches recently, and I think they're gonna have a good one, a good one. But I think this is just to push West forward, just give him direction with this heel stuff. I think this is that's the biggest thing that's gonna come out of this. Like, yeah, you turn on the Rascals, you're gonna beat up Zach, you're gonna send him out of here again. It's all about now what he's gonna do,
Right.
because I don't see either titles in his future for right now, at least. But we'll see. We'll see what happens after this match.
Yeah, I think you kind of the TNA thing makes this tricky, right? Because
Mhm.
if Zach isn't going to be, and that's why I thought that they did the turn because these guys aren't coming to NXT or WWE anytime soon. You
No,
know,
Zach got his own pro. It's not that I'm following fucking TNA. I just know of certain things that happen. He's got his own program. I think he's in what's that match with the X?
oh, the Ultimate X, the Ultimate X.
Yeah, he's in one of them things. So I think he could lose and go do his thing.
Yeah, like I again, like I think that it just makes a little bit more sense for West to win this, and I mean possibly introduce somebody else into the show. Like I think he needs somebody with him. And I think that's really what the issue is here. I will say I felt like the promo work from him has been better since that initial heel promo that I did not like at all. But I think we need a little bit more. Change your music, change your look, change your style. Like everything needs to change from him.
He needs
And
Von Wagner with him.
oh God, no.
No,
He needs
no.
a little bit of Von, man. Bring back Von. What's he been doing?
Like I again, like I think that like there needs to be more. But I can see Wes winning this and Zach moving over into TNA a little bit further. I honestly and this is my big prediction. After this show, I think we'll be seeing less of the TNA guys going forward.
Mm,
Yeah, I think that's when this kind of collaboration kind of comes to a
Well,
halt because now we got to focus on our guys because
I don't
you
know
guys
that
got to
main
this thing
event.
off.
This main event is looking a little interferency. You know what I'm saying?
It's a lot of gaga, but after this we have the rematch: Chase University versus Nathan Frazier and Axiom for the NXT Tag Team Championships. The Chase University won the titles 2 weeks ago, and Nathan Frazier and Axiom exercised their rematch clause to get this rematch on No Mercy.
Justin, did you ever read my like nightmare about Chase U that I posted in Discord?
No, I didn't see it.
That we're gonna get to their contracts and then they're gonna be like, actually,
No, no.
actually, we have no room for you on the main roster, and they're just gonna let them contracts run out.
Uh,
That
I'd
ain't gonna
like
die, Jackal.
I'd like to see it. I'd like to see them not your
Right,
your
my
dream.
nightmare. Yeah, no, that's my nightmare because I'm
I
low key like, what are they doing with these guys?
I don't know. And I'll be real with this. I'm tired of seeing this match. Like
Yeah,
I'm
me too.
I'm,
It's great, but yeah, I'm tired of it.
I'm tired of seeing this match. I'm tired of seeing them in the tag team title contention. I think they have done everything but win the titles, and I don't really want to see them win the titles. You know what I mean?
They've
I
done
don't think,
everything but challenge for the main title.
and I think that there's so many avenues where there could be like a fucking shitty ass turn on someone that happens here that it almost feels like Nathan turning on Axiom or the other way around, save for Axiom taking his mask off, which would be pretty shocking. I don't see the purpose of turning these two against each other, and I don't see the purpose of having Rich Holland turn on Chase, and I especially don't want to see Duke do it. So I don't know what we're going. I don't know what we're doing with this match,
I don't
honestly.
know either, but hey,
Yeah,
should be fun.
especially because with the Axiom Nathan thing, if that were to happen, I feel as though if that role is kind of already filled up by Wes we have now. Like
Yeah,
either of them are going to do the same thing he's going to do. So what would that be happening? Yeah, I'm ready to see Chase U kind of get away from this and just move. I'm ready to see it. I think it's about time. Do y'all think it's time for Nathan and Axiom to
they
move up or
working main roster guys. They've been working with main roster guys for the past.
right?
They've been on almost every single live event because of speed, but also they're working with guys that are on the main roster all the time. We did see a report, I think it was early this year, that everyone in the main roster was impressed by these two. So I'm like, just call them up. Like
Yeah,
we need more guys like that on the main roster. We need bodies. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
I think they'd be perfect for it.
Yeah, Ricochet gone. We need two more flippy boys. Yeah, come back on.
Yeah,
Get them
like
up there.
if you're gonna have him have Nathan be with Seth, and like that'd be fun to see, funny to watch. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I think that I guess they retain. I guess Chase U retains. I guess I don't.
Yeah, I guess.
Is that what we
Yeah,
want? Is that what we want? Like I don't know what we want here.
yeah. Do
Um,
we want a longer Rich Holland title reign? Yes or no?
Oba Femi versus Tony D'Angelo for the NXT North American Championship. I'm gonna call it right now. Call me what you want. Call me what you want. I think it's time for Tony D to be the second white person I think to have this title.
Who's? Oh, this match is funny. I think. Oh, if you wanna end Oba's dominations this way, I think Tony's definitely the person who kind of can do it. As someone who's been a pillar for 2.0 for since 2.0 started, Tony's come up leaps and bounds. I think this would definitely be a good time, especially because based on maybe how the main event goes, Oba will need something to do once he loses his title. So I can see it kind of going either way because of that, but I'm not sure. I may be going with Oba still just because of that, but I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm going with Oba. That's all I got. I know what Tony D's role in this match is, and I think it's going to be a great match. But ultimately, he's getting Oba. So,
He's
who,
getting Oba'd.
who
Hashtag.
who does beat him? Do you think?
um, good question. Probably someone who we haven't seen yet.
Like who? Who haven't we seen?
I don't know. One of them niggas are gonna show up in October. I don't know.
One of
Um,
them.
One of the niggas that's showing up in October. Alright.
I'm trying to
uh,
think.
let's see. Um, I don't know. But I feel like there's gonna be considerable. There's gonna be build to it when it happens. I think this Tony D thing and Obafemi thing. It's funny how it's been built of them just cutting each other off over the last like 4 weeks. But and a good like little spine buster last week. But I don't know if that's enough for me to think that Obafemi loses this. Uh,
True, true.
but
I feel like Charlie Dempsey should beat him for it. Uh, Next up, Kalani Jordan versus Wendy Chu. Let's speed run these. Kalani has the personality of sandpaper,
I have a blanket.
so naturally she will win this match and go
of
on.
course,
She needs some edge, man. I just don't care about this. Wendy Chu, I probably care about even less.
she
This
got a
is gonna
nose
be
ring.
She got curly hair, you know.
Well,
Yeah.
she's no, she does. She probably needs a heel turn in the future. To be honest with you,
Kalani.
yeah,
What's she
I
gonna
think
add?
that's
What's she added to her game?
bro. That's
she gonna
even
add
less believable.
attitude. She gonna join she gonna join
Mm.
Fallon and them.
Oh, she gonna join the AKAs. That's literally that's all she got left. Like, you can't do
Oh
much.
my god, that's funny as hell.
What the hell? Ain't no way, boy. Kalani's gonna
God
win this
bless.
one,
Wendy
and
Chu
then
doing the job. She got to do the job.
the main event, Ethan Page versus Joe Hendry with Trick Williams. Well, this hasn't been announced yet, but most people will
No,
probably
I think it did. I think it was.
it hasn't. It gets announced tonight, but whatever. Fuck it. Trick Williams is
Yeah,
gonna be the special
he's a
referee.
referee, nigga. Fuck it.
Oh,
Yeah,
grr.
so he's
Okay.
gonna be the ref for this match. I have for a very long time been predicting that Trick versus Ethan is going to be the first the NXT title match in Chicago. This leads more to my theory that this is going to be the case. So I would have Ethan Page win here. Joe Hendry has been great. It's been a great 2 months. You've done well. I guess we'll see you in a couple months permanently,
Yeah.
right? Like he has to be coming, right?
That nigga is staying until October. He got a new
And
job, bro.
TNA calling him back like, "Hey, we need you back here, bro." He's like, "I don't wanna. I'm over here. I don't wanna." Yeah, it's time. It's time to get what's it called, Joe at the paint.
Sean
You
said
know.
he got a couple more things for me, actually.
Do I have to?
Yeah.
Good halves, like,
No, this would be crazy if it was the end of Joe Hendry, but you know what? Fair. If it is, shout out to him. It was a great run. Um, but yeah, Ethan Page, big time.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Ethan. Like it has been it has been time for him to kind of show what he could do. I think he's been properly able to do that here. I think that he's done a really fantastic job just in terms of getting people in the right positions where they could be successful.
Right.
He got his work cut out for him with Joe Hendry though, so I'll give him that. Probably bigger work cut out for him than he did with Sean Spears and Trick in one match.
oh, and Javon.
And well, Javon was actually good in that match. I got him
Period.
and was working.
Mm.
But I don't know. How have you thought about the what have you thought about the Ethan Page experiment so far? Not even an experiment, but the story so far.
I think. I mean, I don't know. But part of me feels low key he's a placeholder. But he's really, really good at it, right?
It just seems
And
like he's just not gonna be there that long. I think that's why it seems weird. It just seems like
yeah, he seems like a placeholder. He doesn't seem like he's gonna be there that long. You can clearly see the checks are starting to hit. Like you can clearly see it. The outfit's getting a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? He can buy the jacket now. You know,
Got the checks
um,
there. He said, "I gotta start turning up the work like it matters. Like I'm champ now,
yes,
baby. like
like
what you
I can
mean?
buy the whole Zara now.
Right. I don't gotta pay
But
less no more. I go to Foot Locker. Okay.
but no, I think he's a placeholder for now, but I think he's probably what the brand needs before they move into stand and deliver. Um, so I think he holds it until then, to be honest with you.
Absolutely. Bash in Berlin from the Uber Arena.
Uber. 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 Uber.
Uber. The Uber Arena is happening on the 31st. That's this Saturday, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. on the East Coast. I get to eat breakfast and watch a pay per view. That's gonna be cool.
Gonna
Let's
eat
start it.
breakfast and watch All In.
What was I doing?
Bro.
I ate breakfast. Oh yeah, I was eating breakfast. I did that too. I ate
Okay.
breakfast and watched
All
TV.
right.
I actually
Nope.
no, it was a little bit later in the day though, so it was like 12 o'clock when I started watching, so I'd already eaten.
All right. Cool.
I'm not doing anything watching AEW pay per view. You go to the
So.
side. You stay on that
Just got to make
laptop.
sure your
Yeah.
computer charge. You know what I'm saying?
Let's start it
Mm.
Let's
off
see.
here. The Unholy Union versus the Big Two of Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. I'm here to say,
Talk
Stephen A.
about it.
voice. I'm here to say, do not have these women drop this title to them. I'm sorry.
Bosa, how was the pop on Friday?
Big. It's still big. Jade coming in, everyone loved her, but I still think Bianca's was bigger. So I don't know. Jade is loved by everyone. She's loved by everyone, but the training wheels got to come off at this point. the she has they have to both be let go of each other. Like Naomi can still be big three, and she be doing single stuff on her own.
Yeah.
Like y'all, we have to. It all has to go. It all has to go. Like Justin said, we don't, and especially because the Union are on a roll. They were getting reactions on Friday from regular people in the crowd. Like the cute stuff they were doing just in the commercial break downtime. People like them, so it's time to really just let them flourish, let them do stuff. They just need competition that's not like obviously going to beat them, like Jade and Bianca. Like they need equal competition they can just run with. That's all they
There ain't.
need.
To be honest with you,
That part.
the
Yeah. Yeah.
division. No
Yeah.
one. No one
Yeah.
cares about the division if Bianca and Jade aren't in it. That's my big
Yeah.
thing.
I don't think that's true though. I don't think that's true. I'm gonna fight you on that one. I don't think that's
Okay,
true.
go on.
I'm gonna fight you on that.
Ooh.
I don't think that
Ooh. Round one.
people don't care about them if it's not them. I think that what they're doing right now with the Unholy Union is their attempt to get reactions and to get people to care. I think the only
Yes, I
way
agree.
that you can get people to care is if you don't get scared here and let them win this fucking match and let them have this title, because here's what's going to happen if they don't win this title, right? They're going to be facing the exact same people over again. And I'm talking about Bianca and Jade here that they already beat.
Yep.
They
Yep.
already beat them. There are pathways you can go with the Unholy Union with a lot of other of these other women, because they're not just facing baby faces, they're fighting heels too. And I think that's something that a lot of women aren't doing on either roster either. And they've also been going to NXT. You know what I mean? Like they've been doing a lot of stuff. I think that the best way to get these titles over is to let them kind of run with it and then have them drop it to, I mean, Damage Control or someone down the line. You know what I mean? Like it just doesn't make sense to me for them to lose it at this point. I don't think it's going to help Bianca or Jade. Honestly, it's time for them to go forward. And if you want to get people to care about the division, get Bianca back on her single shit.
I think I agree with all of that, but I also think that there's a level of um, the titles won't matter from a WWE perspective with how they book it. There's a level of the titles won't matter if they're not held by people who the people actually vibe with. And I say that because these teams aren't getting a lot of like FaceTime with the people that aren't Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. Like they
I
aren't
would
really.
I would say that about the Union. They've been on 3 shows. They've been on all 3
Yeah,
shows.
yeah, but I'm saying when I say FaceTime, I mean like with a mic in hand, explaining things, like doing all these things that make to build the investment within these two as champion. They're not really getting those kind of things,
Yes.
unless quite honestly, B and Jade are involved. I think, I think for the best of the division, I get in sort of progression of where you're going with the unholy union, but I do think that there is still building viable threats.
It's me. I'm
Yeah,
coming after you.
I know.
That's
I
the
still think
union.
it's very viable threats if you have B and Jade hold these championships and have it like, okay, these are the next contenders. Like if you, I think B and Jade versus Io and Kyrie would do great. Like I think that's when people would be like, oh, we're invested now. You know what I'm
Did that.
saying?
They literally did that though. They did
When
that.
did they do that?
They weren't facing Damage Control with the titles.
Did they face
They
Damage
beat them
Control?
for the titles.
Yes, they beat them for the titles.
I don't think just adding EO instead of Oscar is gonna
Yeah, like,
revive. It's
it's
gonna
not in their baby faces now too. Like they're not
that
healed
part.
no more. Yeah, Damage Control are baby faces. It like and you're saying they're not getting FaceTime. I'm like Alba and Isla have had video packages. They like to be honest, all Bianca and Jay do is hang out in front of Nick Aldis' office and ask for things. Like it's
Yeah,
not like
but
doing a lot
but
either.
they're established as credible people on the show, whereas Alba and Isla are not. Like they're established as actual people on the show, that characters that you know, characters you want to invest in, people that you want to see, whereas Isla and Alba are not.
I'm not
That's more
jacking
so
that.
what I'm. Well, I think it's true. Uh, because I don't think I think people get invested as the matches go on because of the competitive nature of the matches, but I don't think people are actually invested in the characters of Alba Fire and Isla Dawn yet.
Well, that's why you have them beat them in order to say we beat the fucking big three and we're the champions, and that's why we're the most feared tag team champions in the fucking company right now because we beat these two. Like
I don't
I just
think I don't
makes
think
more
them
sense.
being the tag team champions is going to help the
You don't
division.
think that them beating a former tag team champions and a former WWE Women's Champion is going to do anything for them?
Nah, not really. I'm gonna keep it a
That
buck with
doesn't
you.
make any sense. That makes zero sense to me.
I think it does well in terms of like, okay, they beat them and they
So
get to move on,
how is
but I
anyone
don't.
going to get over? How is anyone going to get over then, in your opinion?
I think if they give them actual storylines and put them in actual situations where they can speak in the ring to actual people, that they get over. I don't think it's
For
just by having
What can
matches.
they?
I don't think it's by having interchangeable matches over and over on a week to week basis.
But why
That's
can't
how
they
I
do
think they
that
get
like
over.
while holding the titles? I think that's the. I think it still do all that while being the champions after beating these two.
But they're not. I mean, my thing is that they haven't even shown that while they're champions. They've
To
had
you,
these things.
what do
Well,
you mean? They have literally. You literally didn't even remember they beat Damage Control. Like that. Like
right. But
have been shown.
also, it's not like. But here's the thing: they're not over as actual characters on the show. You're gonna tell me that they're over and they're the
Yeah.
champions?
What was my point that I made just now? That
But are they over?
the only way they're going to get over is if they beat people that are over. The only way they
But
get
they
that is if
did
they
beat
get it
them
right.
before,
They didn't beat them at Clash of the Castle. They did not beat them like they did not beat them clean. What are you talking about? They did not win clean.
right? But they won. You know what I'm saying? Like this is this major thing that happened. My thing is that the investment in the actual.
Bianca and Jade were never pinned to lose the titles. Meals. What are you talking about?
All
They
I'm
were never
telling
pinned.
you is, all I'm telling you is, I don't think that this changes them being over. It takes a lot more investment than beating these two for them to be
How would,
over.
how would they get over more than just talking in that?
What do you mean? Talking is the way you connect to the people in the thing. Like we
Losing
just
so
had
losing
this whole
the
discussion.
titles makes more sense. Losing the titles makes more sense, and that helps them out, right?
Losing the title, I'm saying. So my thing is, I think the division is better off with Bianca and Jade as champion. That's my argument. That's not my state that they're better off by losing.
You didn't even care when Bianca and Jade had them, and
What are
anyone
all
ever.
these things that you're bringing in? I'm just letting you know that I think the division is better off with Bianca and Jade winning this because I think they bring more attention and eyes to the championship. Now, I think if Alba Fire and Ilya Dawn win, I think they will be less focused on these championships. That's just the argument that I'm bringing here. I get
They've,
what you're saying with the progression of the women's division. If they
they've definitely
win,
did them more than Bianca and Jade ever did.
what happened?
They've definitely defended them more than Bianca and Jade ever did.
I think that Bianca and Jade only had them for like a month. Like, yeah,
Yeah, because it was
probably.
Backlash and then right into Clash of the Castle.
Yeah,
It was
like
a short stint.
they've defended them against Unholy Union have defended them against more people, but I don't think they're any more over for these more defenses. To be honest with you,
All right, cool.
I
So who
think they're
wins?
I think they're over in proximity to Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. But
Who
I'm gonna go with Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill.
she's gonna have a great fall. What about you, Bosa?
I need Unholy Union to walk out of here. As much as I like Bianca as champ, hey man, you need to go be champ elsewhere. You go reach out elsewhere. Yeah, let these girls have it. Let these girls get burned.
Uh, CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre and a strap match. How did these niggas not
Ooh.
get on the flight? I would have thought they would have been the first niggas on the flight to Berlin this week, but they weren't. So this match is this match needs to have blood. I don't care.
I don't think
They
I
need,
think Punk isn't like I don't think Punk is working like loops. That's probably why.
true.
Yeah. So I think he's literally just going to be there for the show and maybe like pop up on SmackDown and say hello to some kids or some shit like that. Um,
Mm.
I'm looking forward to this match. I expect blood. That's a thing. Um,
The thing with this match is that like I know that it's not over after this. I like it. I think Punk is going to win. It's gonna go 1-1, and we're getting the blow off at Bad
are
Blood
we
for sure.
are we doing are we doing the four corners thing?
They are. Yeah, they said it last night that they are.
Okay.
Ugh.
I
What?
mean, we should have known they would because Drew did it with Carrion. That when you had that match with Carrion, they did it.
Uh,
I
real,
lo- I
real,
love the four
real.
corners thing. So I'm a fan. I'm a fan of it. Albeit it takes a little bit of the destruction out of it. It becomes more of a the challenge than anything. Um, but I'm going
having to
with CM
suspend
Punk.
disbelief, suspend disbelief that CM Punk can carry Drew's big ass around the ring is gonna be the interesting part.
I'm going Punk.
This,
What about you, Bosa?
yeah, yeah. We need to even it up the score, like you said. I'm expecting this to just go past this pay per view as well. However, again, my question is how is this match going to shake up the story afterwards? Like is it just I just need something a little more going forward after this. But like Mill said, I think I'm going with Punk just to even it up, just to keep it going. Um, yeah, yeah. This it needs to be violence. They need to let it rip on each other. We need to bring back the times, whip each other. We need the action. We need the action. Yeah.
Next match. Well, yeah, I said Punk already. Next match is Terror Twins of Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley versus the Judgment Day, the new Judgment Day of
Ooh.
Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan. Mixed tag team match. This is gonna be overbooked as hell. I'm already knowing the whole Judgment Day about to come out and bust ass.
And
Uh,
I'm gonna love every moment. Hmm.
I think they've done a spectacular job with this. This is still the biggest storyline next to the Bloodline, and even on some weeks even bigger than Bloodline. I'll be real, like it's like the most invested that a lot of people get. You know what I mean? And Damien's turned a corner. Rhea is they're ready for her to be a baby face. I need her to be a little bit more comfortable in doing that. I need her to be comfortable. I need her to be like, you're back. You've been a heel for almost 3 years. You're back to where you need to be.
Hmm. Yeah, I would definitely say it as a consistent basis. Like you said, they're most over. They're the bloodlines only more over when Roman's involved at this point, or when Cody was involved. But now they're just kind of just on their own. Even with Roman gone, it's still JD and on what they're going on. Yeah, Rhea. I need more. I need more the reaction and live talking from Rhea to really get this thing going. But this match is going to be a fun time. The shenanigans happening and the constant avoiding one another. I think this may end up being a favorite match of the show. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie.
I always like um the interplay between men and women on the show. I think it's a great. This one is built up very very well. It's a great like stopgap between obviously Priest versus Finn and Liv versus Rhea. Um, I'm looking forward to. I think we'll see hopefully a heel masterclass by Dom Mysterio at this point. Um, but I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be tough though because Damian Priest and Rhea are huge.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they're gonna have to do some. Domin's gonna have to do some major heel work to really cut Damian Priest down to size because Rhea Ripley is absolutely the hot tag in this.
But who
Um,
do we think's winning here, though? That's the interesting part because if the idea is, or the thought is that Rhea and Liv break off into their own thing, and Damien and Finn break off into their own thing at Bad Blood, I would have the Judgment Day win here. However, Damien and Rhea just both lost at SummerSlam, so
Yeah.
so
yeah,
way to get Rhea to get another chance or another crack at Liv would be to have Rhea pin Liv in this match.
So that's probably what I'm gonna go for. Is Rhea and Damien need to win this match.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Twins need to get their, like you said, they need to get that heat back. They need to get their win back, and I think that would catapult them to what they go going forward. Like, because I definitely don't think, like you said, Dom is not the end goal for Damien. Obviously, it's Finn, so he needs to have a reason to plow through Dom and Liv. Because this is more so about Rhea Liv than it is Dom and Damien. Dom is just here because connected to them too.
Right.
But to get them pushing forward, we need a Terra Twins. We need a Terra Twins dub, a double T dub. Mm-hmm.
Uh, Next up, Gunther versus Randy Orton for the World Heavyweight Championship. If Orton wins the championship, he will be transferred to Raw, and Gunther will be transferred to SmackDown. This has been built up sufficiently for how fast it's happened. I think Randy and Gunther, to their credit, have both been killing it on the mic. I really like Randy's promo on Raw this week as well.
Really good,
It was
really good. Yeah,
a good promo. Um, I think that it's very clear to me that they are wanting the Cody match to go down with Orton. So I think that I do think we will get that. But what do you guys think? What do you guys think here?
No, I mean that's kind of my line of thinking too. This probably is this more simplest, probably the simplest of out of all of them, because I have no doubt in my mind that Gunther is winning this match. I just think this is supposed to be a match to really like coronate him. And,
Right.
like he's truly a main event contender. I think they've done a great job at building this. I think they've done a great job building anticipation for this match, even down to the bringing up the fact of the rematch from the beginning. I think they've just done a great job in general. So I'm going with Gunther, but I'm looking forward to see the kind of performance that Randy Orton pulls out in this match for sure.
Yeah, they had a
yeah.
good match at King of the Ring, so I'm hoping it's like a little bit more of that, and I hope that they do a callback to how Randy lost back in May as well.
I think that definitely goes in. I think that probably is going to be one of the big false finishes. They're going to play it up. Yeah, this is going to be a big crown making moment for Gunther to be able to put away Randy Orton in his first. Wait, is his first defense on TV? Right?
Yeah, oh, on TV, yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, his first big defense against Randy Orton of all people. It will be another big making moment for him. Especially because I also am one of the people who doesn't feel like he needs to hold it this long. Having his first big defense and one of his defenses period be Randy and go away with that victory will do a lot for this reign for even though it just started. So yeah, I just think Gunther needs to go over in this just to put him to sleep real quick. Like you said, the big idea is the big idea is Cody, yeah, because Randy's not taking the Gunther finish where he does three of them joints, a power bomb flash. He's not baby, you did let me sleep. Let me sleep. Just choke me out like you did Damien.
Good
Yeah.
enough, brother. Nah,
Get out now. I'm not, my back. I can't do a superpower. I can't do that, brother. Yeah.
And then finally, main event: Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens for the undisputed WWE Championship. This has also been a pretty quick turnaround in terms of feuds. They have a sit down interview. I don't know if you guys caught that with I think it was Cole, where they kind of get into like a little bit of an argument.
I think it
Huh?
was great.
Oh, it was Graves. Yeah, they kind of get into like a little bit of an argument here, and I was like, okay, this is the kind of fire that I was expecting them to kind of have over the weeks. But I mean, I guess putting on the pre-show is fine too. But it's been an interesting story where KO has not been really wanting to do it, and now Cody's kind of or people trying to say like, hey, like KO is not to be trusted and all this other stuff, and that's leading us into this match. I am honestly thinking that the scales are going to tip here, and that we're going to be getting heel KO pretty soon. It's been a while though, but we're going to get it back.
I don't know if he turns, man. I don't know. It's just
At all, or you think that they would keep KO face and turn Orton?
yeah. I think yeah, essentially. I don't know if he turns here. I think the intrigue of it is building like will he do it, but I ultimately think he sticks with his like morals and shit. Um, all that whack shit. But I don't think he turns. I'm looking forward to this match. Like I has there ever been Kevin Steen versus Cody Rhodes? Like KO versus Cody? Like,
No, no, he was gone when KO came up, right?
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm
Well, he was
assuming.
he
Oh
was
yeah, they
there,
was like,
but
"Yo, hold my man's down while he's out in the thing,"
Yeah,
while
yeah,
he's out.
yeah.
So we've never really seen this match, which is what I'm really looking forward to. And also, it's been a long time since we've seen like Kevin Owens in a major high pro. I could be bugging. Was he in a main event? Did he face Roman
He was
Reigns
in
at
the
some point?
he
WrestleMania.
plays Roman like 3 times.
He was in the WrestleMania main event 2 years ago.
Yes,
No, no, no.
I
But
was like,
that's
what
what.
you mean?
But nigga, that's 2 years ago. That's what I'm saying. Like I'm trying to remember if it was like more recently. It's like we don't get it quite often as we used to of these like very high caliber world championship match KO main events thing. So I'm looking forward
Mhm.
to that is what I'm saying. I'm thinking more like on the stakes of like, Sammy versus Roman or like all these like these big like championship matches. We don't get them often. So I like when KO has those kind of stakes going on for it.
Yeah, I definitely think in the terms of KO and this morality battle he's fighting, I wish they leaned into that just a little bit more. Going into this because this is prize fighter KO. This is what I think they should lead more into him doing what he needs to do to get back to his title because then he hasn't been in this position near the world title since Roman like 2 years ago. Before that, it was another year and a half. So getting back to this, and I feel like leading into more doing what he needs to do, because I guess we're gonna get into it later. What happens on SmackDown, like leading into the turn, I think hinting at it is not enough. I think going forward with Kevin, and you don't have to do no big, crazy, evil heel turn, Kevin. Like just someone just deep in his thought, like, hey man, I'm doing what I need to do to get this title. I'm gonna do it. And I think this match needs to lean into that heavy. But still, of course, Cody coming out. But I think that's what needs to be done to give KO the fuel and new fuel to his fire. Because again, he's kind of been in the same position for like 4 years.
Yeah,
So he needs that back. He needs something. He needs something new. He needs something new.
he need to beat LA Knight.
Hey, I'm down for that
That is
always.
that probably won't happen. Especially with the people like, oh my god, contract talk.
Oh, brother.
But yeah, the contract talk. I knew
Yeah.
it.
Don't 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 show the turnbuckle picture.
Sidebar before we get out of here. How did everyone feel about the Bloodline segment at the end of SmackDown?
The Bloodline segment. Oh, where they beat up four
This
niggas?
is
Well, beyond that, first off, Solo comes out to the ring, and he's like, "Jacob, give that title to Tonga. You don't
well,
need no title being my personal nigga."
what you're seeing is the type of and I hope they reckon with this with Roman is the type of learned behavior that he got from his cousin. Like his cousin taught him this behavior.
Yeah,
And I think that if the idea is that this spins off into Solo and Jacob and the Tongans going at it, like it's I'm gonna be real, it's a bit of a lesser program, but still
I
like I think
love
that
you, Solo. I love you.
I still think that there's some merit there. I think that they want to do a slow burn with Jacob Fatu, and I think that's absolutely the best way to do it because I do feel like their foot was firmly on the gas that first month, and now they're pulling it back,
you pull it back, yeah.
Yeah,
and you're starting to see that now. And I'm like, honestly, nigga don't need the title, bro. He don't need the tag titles because the thing is that with the tag titles, he would have to eventually he would have to get pinned.
Lose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they don't want to do that, and I think it's a lot more believable that any of these tag teams could beat Tama Tonga and fucking Tonga,
Big
especially
Tongaloa.
right.
But
Well,
Aloha.
I don't know because they did just beat up four niggas.
They beat up four niggas. I said, this has got to stop, my nigga. I was like, this is
this is
crazy.
this is what we knew what would happen, right? Is it the second it was like even hinted to be even booked, we were like, don't do this again, please, don't do this again. And sure enough, they're doing it.
bro,
It's
solo
just
selling is the funniest man on the world.
yo
Seeing that man take
Solo just like groggily like waiting for offense for like 2 minutes.
Like it was Mortal Kombat 2. I said,
like, bro. He was
Move around, nigga. What is wrong with you?
You know what I'm
he
saying?
was being
Stagger
my
a little
super
bit. You
kid.
know what I'm saying?
He said, he was like, just waiting for the
Whoa, God.
whoa. And then as soon as Jacob gets involved, he's like, "Who? I'm back. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Put him up. Like, no man, get out of my face."
Bro, ridiculous human being in every aspect of the word. But
And then,
uh,
wait before we go, because I know we have to go. Two more quick things because I just do want to get into Raw a little bit. The Bronson Reed segment with Braun Strowman.
effective, but also had me like, so how's Seth gonna beat this nigga when he comes back?
And 8 stomps. The Fiend style. What you mean? I'm gonna do it from the top rope stomp. You can go for a tsunami? Nah, nigga.
I need
I'm
an
behind you.
AK-47 on that nigga. Real shit.
Oh my god! And then Mr. Uncle Howdy, his debut. Say enough. You said enough. It was a
Listen,
it
we
was longer than it needed to be. It was super fucking long.
it was very
Yeah.
long, but I think that like we now know that like he's not the best worker in the crew because the tag match
Nah.
was like so much better than this.
Way
Yeah.
more lit. Like even the crowd, like bro, because I was in and out of the match. But I was like, man,
Nah,
the
the chat
crowd
went
sounds
dead.
dry. Is the match over? And I look at the match still going. I said, oh, like nah.
Chat went
Yeah,
dead. I asked how did everyone think of Uncle Howdy thus far. My only thoughts were like that wig is holding on for dear life.
he needs to super glue it. I don't know why. It's silver locks. Just keep like, what are we doing?
Put
Bruh,
it in a ponytail or something.
he has hair. Like my thing is his whole hair, his actual hair was peeking out so many different times. I was like, God damn. But no, effective stuff. Raw and SmackDown continue to do great things. And I'm looking forward to this weekend. Double dose of wrestling.
Can't be mad at that. But
Double
listen,
dose.
we gotta get out of here because I gotta go edit the show. We gotta do some challenge talk for you sickos that enjoyed that last week. But Bosa, thank you so much for being on.
Yeah, it was a fun time. It's always fun being on here. You know, I was always saying, I was like, it's not a matter of if I come back. It was never that. It was never that. I was like, the stars are going to align, and lo and behold, January 28th, the stars aligned. But yeah, it was a great time, great time, great time.
Bro, anyone who got Cody and Rhea this year, they was like, "Yep, I'm on the show."
Bro, the whole inner monologue I was having, I was like, the
Not Rhea,
rumblings are.
Bailey, I'm sorry, Bailey.
I was like, Bailey's gonna win. I was like, I wonder where she's gonna come out. And I got my pool number was 3. I was like, oh, I'm not winning. And then at number 3, that started. I rose up. I was like, wait, and then bam.
There it
I
was.
love
There it
that.
was. But thank you for joining us. Thank you guys for listening. We'll be back next week with all of our thoughts after Bash in Berlin and the end of some pay-per-views for WWE for a couple weeks. So we get a break after Bash in Berlin. But for Meals, I'm Justin. Thank you guys for listening to the A Show. We'll be back next week. Peace.